ResortLoop.com is proudly sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Look for Joffrey's kiosks throughout the Walt Disney World theme parks. This holiday season, visit Joffreys.com for a variety of specialty coffee gifts, featuring mugs, their new coffee variety gift sets, and the brand new Jingle Jangle Java flavored coffee with vanilla mint flavor and smooth chocolate and nutty notes. Only at Joffreys.com.
Hi, this is Azure and Mia Simpson. We're calling to report we're about to get on our first monorail ride to Epcot. Thanks for all your help in planning our vacation. We'll continue listening. Love it. Bye.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everybody, welcome to ResortLoop.com. I'm your host, Bob Collar. As you can tell by the bad audio quality, Tim Scott is not here. He is enjoying some some holiday festivities with his family, and I'm guessing probably shopping for my Christmas present. That's my... Yeah, he's got to be, right? Yeah. So anyway, speaking of shopping for holidays, so I thought I'd take this opportunity since Christmas is right around the corner. We're getting close. It's almost that wonderful time of year, and you're probably scrambling at this point trying to figure out what are you going to get your kids or maybe your significant other for Christmas. And my son has been nice enough to come on the show and review Star Wars Battlefront he actually has the Xbox One edition of that. So we thought, why not talk about Star Wars Battlefront since, the movie's coming out here pretty soon too. Mm-hmm, Don't forget about that. So very excited about that. Can't wait to check out The Force Awakens, but we thought, you might have that on your list. One of your loved ones may have that on their list. So we're going to give you the real scoop from a 14-year-old boy. So
15.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I forgot. 15-year-old boy. Notice how quick he is to correct me on that. So, but real quick before we get started, though, Star Wars Battlefront, of course, rated T for teen, which means it's usually acceptable for 13 and up. So, being that you're 15 now, So, why don't you get us started? Why don't you? Because it's been getting some bad reviews.
Yeah, it's been getting slammed a lot on all of the major websites and review places. Like ING and like Game Reviews and all these places.
Now, to be honest though, it's still getting 3.5, 4 stars. It's not like it's getting 1 or 2 stars.
Yeah, but people are just calling it like okay, which I kind of disagree with that.
Okay, why is that?
Because people are being too critical on it. Because they were expecting something like the original Star Wars Battlefront. Because when that came out on PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox years ago, like that was revolutionary. It was a revolutionary game. The audio quality was phenomenal at the time. The game graphics at the time were amazing. People were amazed by the game, and it's hard to get that kind of amazement back in this day and age of advanced technology.
Well, sure. I mean, it was something new back then, so everybody was just shocked at how good it was because it was something new. So yeah, I could see how their expectations were. This is going to be so much better.
Yeah.
Than the original Battlefront. And is it so much better than the original Battlefront?
I mean, Battlefront holds like a special place in my heart because I had that all throughout my childhood, because I was a very, very huge Star Wars fanatic when I was a little kid, like 7, 8 years old.
Yes, you're welcome.
That's because of you. Thank you for that. And when I got Star Wars Battlefront 2, it was like a dream come true for me, because I used to like play pretend with my friend Daniel and like play lightsaber battles and stuff in the backyard. But
right.
even that could only go so far. Like, that's just your imagination.
Sure.
But being able to go into that world and just, like, see things from the perspective of a rebel soldier or a stormtrooper or Luke Skywalker is just, it's amazing. It's like, when that movie came out, they never would have thought that you can be so immersed in the experience and the story of Star Wars that, like, it just blows my mind.
Right.
So then when I found out that they were revamping it and making a whole new one for the new generation and for people who didn't have Star Wars Battlefront when they were little kids, I was very excited. And then it came out and I got it and it was really fun, and I noticed that people were, like you said, just saying that it was okay.
Right. Well, let's back up real quick. I mean, the reason you and he saved his money to purchase the Xbox One because most of you out there in Looper Nation know I'm a little bit cheap, so buying a new gaming system was not on my radar. But he saved all of his allowance over a whole year and was able to purchase at least a portion of it, and I did kick in some. But you specifically bought this game or this gaming system because you wanted to play this game.
Yeah, this was the big, like, it was the, I don't really know what analogy to use or anything.
Grand Poobah.
Yeah, it was the Grand Poobah of the Xbox One. Like, sure, there were other games like Halo and like Assassin's Creed and stuff, which obviously aren't sanctioned by Disney, so we aren't going to talk about that.
Right.
But this was the big golden first place trophy among other games.
Right.
And it is this because, like I said, I had Star Wars Battlefront when I was a little kid, and I was a huge Star Wars fan, and I still am a huge Star Wars fan.
Right.
So it was cool being able to go back into that world and just be able to relive some of the things that I forgot about.
Right. So even though it's getting bad reviews, you still love the game.
Yeah, I still love the game because along with the few bad things with it, it's like the bad things even contribute to everything that's good about it. It's what makes it unique.
Mm-hmm.
Like Darth Vader, like you can play as the heroes and villains in the game.
Right.
So you can play as Han Solo, Luke, Princess Leia, and on the bad guy side you play as Boba Fett, the Emperor, and Darth Vader. And the voice acting for Darth Vader is very, very bad.
Oh, wow.
Really? But then nobody can replicate James Earl Jones's voice.
Right.
It's just so unique. Right. But it's very bad, but even that just makes it even funner to play because you hear this really weird sound in Darth Vader and it's just a funny thing to hear, and it makes it fun.
Right.
And a lot of the people who are giving it bad reviews are kind of the very
they're the big time gamers.
They're the purists.
They're big time gamers.
Yeah.
I get that. Sometimes and we see that in the Disney community. Sometimes you're so immersed in something that you start to see more of the flaws than the good.
Yeah.
And that's probably what a lot of that's going on. So you give it a good review.
Yeah.
Why don't you walk us through like how the game starts and how you progress through the game?
All right, so in the original Battlefronts, there was a campaign, which is like the main story where you play as a certain character and things of that nature. In Battlefront 2, it's where you played as the clones who eventually turned against the rebels, or the Jedi, sorry, and became stormtroopers. Which, that was an interesting story, but they took away all of the story with Battlefront and made it a solely multiplayer game.
So this has no reference to the older games?
Not story-wise.
Okay.
Gameplay-wise, in like the different ways to play, yes.
Okay.
So it's
That's good to know, because some people don't, they may not have played the other games, so...
Yeah.
Would you say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but would you say it would be better for people who've never played Battlefront to play this one? Would it be a better experience because they don't have the expectations of somebody that's played the game in the past?
Well, I mean, the game is good for anybody who just wants to have a good time. Like, the people who give good reviews, like I said, are the purists, the real hardcore people who want a competitive playing environment. Battlefront was never that. It wasn't that when we had it for the PlayStation 2, and it's not that now.
Right.
It's just a game for you to play to just have fun and be in a Star Wars universe. And Star Wars is a fun movie. It's supposed to be fun.
Right.
It's not supposed to be analyzed, in
Right.
every little symbolic
that's what we
thing.
do in today's society now.
Yeah.
So anyway, go back to how the game is played. What happens in the game?
So you have numerous multiplayer, we call them playlists, which are just different game modes. The big thing that everybody likes to play is called Walker Assault. And it's where the Imperials, the Stormtroopers, and the Rebels are obviously fighting each other. And the Imperials have 2 AT-ATs, which are the big camel walkers, from The Empire Strikes Back. And these 2 walkers are slowly progressing to find the Rebel base and to destroy it. The Imperials' job is to make sure that the Rebels don't activate these little stations throughout the map that allow the Rebels access to bombers that take down the AT-AT shields, so then the Rebels can attack it. So basically the Imperials are trying to keep the AT-ATs alive while the Rebels are trying to destroy it. This game mode's so popular because you are allowed so many people to play that it feels like a original Star Wars battle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It feels like you're just in, if you're on Hoth, it feels like you're playing in the Empire Strikes Back, and you're one of the rebels defending Echo Base.
Oh, very cool.
It's very fun because you feel like you're in the movie.
Nice.
You feel like you're just one of the extras in the movie fighting the Imperials.
Yeah.
It immerses you in the
So you start
experience.
off on Hoth? Is that where you're saying you start off on Hoth?
Well, it's random every time.
Oh, okay.
Once you
All
enter
right.
a playlist, there's a random map. There's Endor, Hoth, Tatooine now, and there's a new map that's completely original to Battlefront, and it's called Sullust. And it's this very volcanically active planet where there's lava spewing up everywhere. It's kind of like that planet from the third one. I think it's Mustafar or something.
Right.
But not so lava. It's mostly like rock with like lava rivers and stuff. But it's completely unique to Battlefront. It was never seen in the movies or never referenced to. So, other than Walker Assault, there's my favorite, which is Fighter Squadron, where...
Yeah, I've watched you play that. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's where there's just this big mosh pit of just X-Wings, A-Wings, TIE Interceptors, and TIE Fighters just going at it in the air. And it's just this giant battle, and you have to just engage in this dogfight. And I really like it because I've always liked X-Wings and flying X-Wings and stuff like that. So those are 2 of the most popular ones. But the most unique one, I would have to say, is one called Heroes versus Villains, where there's 6 people on each team, the Imperials and the Rebels, and 3 of those people are either a hero or a villain. So, and it's randomly picked, like... One guy may be Luke Skywalker one round, and then he's Princess Leia the other.
Okay.
So, and the objective is to take out either all the heroes or all the villains, depending on what side you're on. I like it the most because it gives me a chance to be Luke Skywalker, and who doesn't like to be Luke Skywalker? I mean, you're running around with a lightsaber, just hitting people up with a lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
So those are really the main unique playlists. There's other ones like Cargo, which is pretty much capture the flag. Drop Pod, which is like more of a conquest kind of where you have to control points in order to gain more points. So yeah.
Now you're able to have lightsaber battles. Do you, as Luke Skywalker, do you battle Darth Vader with the lightsaber?
If if you can encounter him on heroes versus villains, because obviously somebody on the other side is Darth Vader. And, like, I don't want to be critical on Star Wars Battlefront, because it's a great game, and don't think I'm being critical. I just want to point out the fact that the lightsaber battles between Darth Vader and Luke are very, very clunky.
Okay.
The mechanics of it are bad. Like, if Luke and Darth attack at the same time, both just get sent flying backwards, and it delays the fight another. It's not very exciting.
Right, okay.
And it's kind of an equal chance of winning, so there's no, like, adrenaline to it or anything.
Right.
So it's not as fun. I wish that they would change that. And the game, again, only came out a few weeks ago, so they're going to change a lot of stuff. But I wish that they would change that, because it's very slow and monotonous fighting between Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader.
What are some of the other some of the other drawbacks that you don't like about it?
Other than those two things, I mean, on some maps there is a distinctive team imbalance. Like, say on Hoth, the Imperials are going to have more of an advantage because they're wearing, like, stark white, so they're going to blend in with the snow. But say on Endor, the Rebels are wearing all green, while the Imperials still have to wear white, so the Rebels have a more likely chance to win. Right, because they blend in. So there's a few team imbalances, but that still adds to the game because it makes it more realistic.
Now, when you say someone else is Darth Vader or someone else is Luke, depending upon who you are, you're talking about online gameplay? Is this an online gameplay game?
Yes, it's exclusively online. If you don't have online, then, I mean, you could play battles where you're just a hero and you're going against AI, which isn't very fun, or survival where you're a rebel soldier and you have to hold off wave after wave of Imperials. But if you don't have online, then you shouldn't get the game.
Okay, all right. And as far as it's rated T for teen for the violence, how violent are we talking about, or what are we talking as far as injuries and the things you see? Because a lot of the mature games, it's over the top, with the gore and all of that stuff. I
honestly believe that this game could be rated E. Because other than Darth Vader being able to force choke people and, like, the Emperor's lightning, like, it's just Star Wars. Like, when people get shot, there's just, like, sparks that go out and the guy falls on the ground. Or when there's an explosion, the guy just flies up in the air and lands. It's Star Wars.
So you're not seeing blood and
all
that
not,
stuff?
Not at all, no.
Very good, very good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know. So, Star Wars Battlefront, that's from EA Games. Thumbs up or thumbs down, Bobby?
Thumbs up. And there's also another feature that's completely unique to Battlefront that I'd like to point out. Now you get to customize what your person looks like.
Oh, okay.
Which I really like that. I don't really do it with the Stormtroopers that much because I don't really think Stormtroopers should be able to take their helmets off. But I do it with my Rebels, and my Rebel guy looks a little like me. And it's fun kind of having that because it looks like you, and I don't know, it's a cool little thing that they added.
Yeah. I have seen it. It does look like you.
Yeah.
So. Very cool. Now, you've had it for a little while. You typically go through video games pretty quick. You're still not all the way through this game, so pretty long gameplay for the most part?
Yeah, since it's online, it's infinite gameplay. Since there's no story, there's no end to it. It's just
all right.
Kind of like playing a sport.
Okay.
Yeah, if you play a game of, say, soccer, and you finish that game and you win, that's not the end of the game of soccer. You can play as many games as you want and still not get bored. Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Video quality of this thing is just unbelievable. I have watched it. It looks like you are in the movie, like you had said before. It is so, the detail that they put into this stuff. Other than Darth Vader, most everybody sounds like the normal characters from the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, if if it's not like quotes directly pulled from the movie with
Right.
like audio
Right.
touch-ups, then the voice acting is incredible. I can't tell the difference between Mark Hamill's voice and whoever's the voice actor for Luke Skywalker, if there is one. Like,
Gotcha.
I can't tell.
Okay. Great. So you highly recommend it, or just kind of?
I highly recommend it because I highly recommend it if you want to have a good time.
Gotcha.
And if you are just a normal Star Wars fan. Now, if you're like a fan, like a incredible, like you've bought every like Lego Star Wars set that's ever
Right,
released, then probably not, because you're going to find the flaws in it.
You're right.
It's just, it's
Right.
natural. You've watched the movies over and
Right.
over. You're going to find the bad things about it.
Right.
But if you're just a normal Star Wars fan and you know as much that is in the movies,
Right.
then you're going to have a good time, because they picked out Star Wars Battlefront and they wanted to make it as Star Warsy as you can. So the TIE fighters sound like TIE fighters,
Yeah, they do.
the lightsabers sound like lightsabers, the blasters sound and look like blasters from the movie.
Right.
It is just throwing you in the movie.
Right. I know I've a couple of times I thought you were actually watching Star Wars, and then I realized, oh wait, no, he's playing the game. So now, of course, the ratings says 13, recommended for 13 and up. Would you go any younger with this game? Because a lot of folks are going to be wondering. I got like a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, 12-year-old. Even though it's T for teen, how young do you think you could go with a game like this?
I think you could go 8.
Oh,
honestly.
really? That young?
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with it. You know, it's just if your child has watched Star Wars, they can play this game.
Okay, there you go.
Now, I'm not
There
sure
you
if
go.
they can understand like the complicated things
Right,
about it.
right.
But if you have allowed your child to see Star Wars, and if that kid's okay with seeing Star Wars, then yeah, get him or her the game.
Okay. Very good. There you are. There is an honest review from a 15-year-old gamer. My son, Bobby. Appreciate it. Thank you, son, for coming on the show
You're welcome.
and giving us your honest review. A Star Wars Battlefront from EA Games. Don't forget the new Star Wars movie right around the corner.
Next week.
Star Wars Force Awakens. That's coming. But don't forget to maybe pick this up for Christmas, because that's right around the corner as well. So, Bobby, again, thank you for coming on, and that's all I've got. As Tim would say, check him out on all the social media. Usually he's ResortLoopTim or Tim ResortLoopScott. I'm ResortLoopBob on the Twitter and Instagram. Rate us or like us on Facebook. Rate us on iTunes. Don't forget my Diz Match. Check that out if you'd be so kind. And don't forget to listen to us on the Stitcher. And as Tim says, this has been the Gateway to the Magic. See you, everybody.
It is unavoidable. We will witness the destruction of the Alliance and the end of this insignificant rebellion.
Soldiers of the Rebel Alliance, this is our most desperate hour. You are our only hope.